Ever wondered what goes on in a man's mind? What makes them tick? Today we dive deep into the male psyche. The human mind is a complex entity, a labyrinth of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. The male psyche in particular is a fascinating realm, often misunderstood and misinterpreted. It's a world that operates on a spectrum of logic, emotion, and instinct. Understanding the intricacies of the male mind can help us better navigate our relationships, both personal and professional, and foster deeper connections. Our exploration will delve into 10 intriguing psychological facts about men. We'll be discussing men's emotional landscape, how they respond to stress, and their unique communication style. We'll also touch upon the way men process visual information and how it influences their perception of the world. Further, we'll explore how men approach problem solving, their propensity for risk-taking, and the way they form social bonds. We'll discuss their competitive nature and how it shapes their interactions. Lastly, we'll delve into their learning style and their unique ways of expressing emotions. Each of these facets contributes to the rich tapestry of the male psyche. They provide a glimpse into the thought processes, the motivations, and the emotional world of men. It's important to remember that while these observations are backed by psychological studies, they may not hold true for every man. Human beings are complex, and individual differences abound. However, these insights can provide a starting point, a compass to guide us through the labyrinth of the male mind. The aim here is not to stereotype or pigeonhole, but to foster understanding and empathy. By delving into the inner workings of the male psyche, we can bridge gaps, break down barriers, and cultivate better communication and understanding. So, fasten your seatbelts and open your minds. We're about to embark on a journey of discovery and insight. Prepare to be intrigued as we uncover the fascinating world of men's psychology. First and secondly, contrary to popular belief, men are not emotionless. They just express emotions differently. And when stressed, men tend to become more focused and goal-oriented. Stepping into the world of male emotions, we find that men are indeed emotional beings. They experience the full spectrum of emotions, just like anyone else. However, due to societal expectations and conditioning, men often express their emotions in ways that might seem less obvious or direct. They may choose to channel their feelings into actions rather than words, leading to a common misunderstanding that men are emotionless. Now let's talk about stress. When faced with stress, men often respond with a heightened sense of focus. This is a survival mechanism, honed by centuries of evolution, that allows them to zero in on the task at hand and find solutions. This differs from the common stress response in women, which often leans towards nurturing and building social connections. So, the next time you think a man is unfeeling, remember, they're just wired differently. Moving on to our third and fourth facts, men typically communicate to relay information, and they process visual information more efficiently. When it comes to communication, men often favor a more direct, information-oriented approach. This can be seen in their preference to discuss facts, strategies, and outcomes. This style of communication aims to solve problems and make decisions, rather than building emotional connections. Turning our attention to visual processing, research shows that men are often more visually stimulated than women. This is not just about physical attraction, but also extends to understanding and interpreting visual information. Men tend to excel in tasks that require spatial awareness and visualizing objects in 3 dimensions. These two factors combined suggest that men often communicate in a manner that is aligned with their visual processing abilities, direct, clear, and focused on the matter at hand. Understanding these aspects can help us communicate better with the men in our lives. Our fifth and sixth facts reveal that men often prefer to problem solve alone and are more likely to take risks. Now let's delve a bit deeper. When problems arise, many men tend to retreat into their shells, preferring to grapple with issues in solitude. This tendency can be traced back to our primitive ancestors, when men were primarily responsible for hunting and protecting their families. During those times, men had to rely on their individual skills and judgment to navigate challenges and threats. Fast forward to the present day, and this ingrained behavior still persists. Men often choose to tackle problems on their own, believing that seeking help or advice may be perceived as a sign of weakness or incompetence. This preference for solitary problem solving can be beneficial in situations that require quick decision-making and independent action. However, it could also hinder collaborative efforts and potentially prevent men from seeking help when they truly need it. Moving on to our sixth fact, men are generally more inclined to take risks. This propensity for risk-taking is not just about thrill-seeking or reckless behavior. It's about survival. Think about our ancestors again, hunting large and dangerous animals, exploring unknown territories. These were all high-risk activities that our forefathers had to undertake to ensure the survival of their kin. Today, this innate risk-taking tendency manifests in various ways, from men's higher likelihood to engage in extreme sports to their inclination to make bold financial decisions. Although this trait can sometimes lead to unfavorable outcomes, it's also been a driving force behind many of mankind's greatest achievements. After all, as the saying goes, no risk, no reward. But like any trait, these tendencies towards solitary problem-solving and risk-taking come with their own set of pros and cons. They can lead to innovation and resilience, but can also foster isolation and recklessness. The key lies in understanding and managing these traits effectively. These traits can be both a strength and a weakness, depending on the situation. For our 7th and 8th facts, let's delve into men's social bonds and their competitive nature. When it comes to forming social bonds, men often differ significantly from women. Instead of bonding over shared emotional experiences or deep conversations, men tend to form connections around shared interests or activities. They bond while playing a game of golf, watching a football match, or working on a project together. These shared experiences provide the foundation for their friendships, allowing them to connect on a level that goes beyond simple conversation. This is not to say that men can't or don't enjoy deep conversations, but rather, their social bonds often don't rely on them as heavily. This could be attributed to societal expectations that encourage men to suppress their emotions, leading them to seek out less emotionally charged avenues of connection. This dynamic can be seen in various settings, whether it's a group of friends hanging out, co-workers collaborating on a project, or even in online communities around shared hobbies. Moving on to our 8th fact, men are often more competitive than women. This competitive nature can be seen in both physical and mental arenas. It's not uncommon to see men trying to outdo each other, whether it's in sports, video games, or even in their professional lives. This competitiveness can sometimes strain their relationships, but it can also foster a sense of camaraderie and mutual respect. It's important to note, however, that not all men are competitive, just as not all men form bonds solely through shared activities. These are general trends observed across populations and cultures, not strict rules that apply to every individual. This competitiveness and the way men form social bonds are deeply ingrained aspects of many men's psyches. They are influenced by a complex mix of biological, societal, and personal factors, and understanding them can provide valuable insights into men's behaviors and interactions. These traits help shape the dynamics of men's social interactions. Finally, our 9th and 10th facts reveal that men often learn better through action, and they express love through actions rather than words. When it comes to acquiring new skills or knowledge, men often gravitate towards a more hands-on approach. They prefer to physically engage with the task at hand, allowing them to directly experience and understand the process. This learning style can be seen in everything from assembling a piece of furniture to mastering a new sport. As for emotional expression, it's a common observation that men express their feelings in a less verbal manner compared to their female counterparts. This does not mean that men are emotionally stunted or incapable of deep affection. Rather, they often choose to communicate their love and care through actions. A man might show his love by fixing a leaky faucet, helping with a challenging task, or simply being there when needed. These last 2 facts remind us that actions often speak louder than words for men. So there we have it, 10 intriguing psychological facts about men. We've delved into the depths of the male psyche, exploring everything from how men process emotions and stress to their distinct styles of communication and visual processing. We've also examined men's unique approaches to problem-solving and risk-taking, and their propensity for forming social bonds and engaging in competition. Finally, we touched upon their learning styles and ways of expressing emotions. Each of these facts shines a light on the complex tapestry that is the male mind, inviting us to understand and appreciate the intricate workings of men's psychology. Whether it's their natural inclination towards problem-solving or their unique ways of communicating, these insights can help us navigate and enrich our interactions with the men in our lives. Remember, understanding these facts can help us build better relationships with the men in our lives. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring. Keep